Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Detroit in Black and White, our Friday evenings edition. On deck, you have this evening the former chief of police down in Trenton, Michigan, our downriver brother, Jim Nardone. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening. Nice to see you. Is Friday? Is it Friday already?
It's Friday.
Great
Yay!
Grand Prix Friday in Detroit.
Grand
You
Prix
like that,
Friday.
Vanessa?
Yep. And of course, you have Vanessa Moss, your next Wayne County probate court judge. But anyway, I
And
want to
behind the
say,
scenes,
right, I
and
want
behind
to
the
say,
scenes, we have Teresa.
right. Oh, yeah, I got to acknowledge Lady T. What up, though, Lady T? Listen, if you guys are watching, you already know what we want you to do. Like, subscribe, share. You can catch us on all social media platforms. You could also join us in the chat, or you could come on in the room by using this link that's up in the corner. Take your phone, go to your camera, and come on into the room. I want to give a shout out to Dwayla Boyce. Hey, D Love. Janice said, look, hey, Mr. 1213, less is more. Hey, good evening. Hello, everybody. So today is Jill. Hey, what's up, Jill?
Hey, Joe.
Okay, you got the assignment. Thank you so much. Um, Today is Friday. We're going to have a very exciting conversation. We're going to talk about a few things, and we're going to start off with Jim. Jim participated in something I had not participated in. That I think the last time I participated in slow roll was 10 years ago. So tell everybody about you a slow roll.
First, I want to say we're missing two of our anchor people today, Allan Lengel, and of course our leader Adolph Mongo. So we need your help tonight to keep the show going.
Yeah.
And I have a question for before I even get started. Vanessa and Dwayla and some of the other folks, you guys look so young because you're dancing all the time. Is that what's going on here? Because you guys look good. You look young, strong, fit. What's that? Does that have something to do with dancing, Vanessa?
Well, yeah, Duela is actually she is a very good dancer.
I just learned that.
A very, very good dancer, and I think she would agree that I've come a long way. We both love to dance. That's one of the things that we have in common. And actually, that's how I met Duela. Both of us were out dancing, and you know how outgoing I am. I was like, hey, lady, I'm Vanessa. We were both taking a stepping class together. And we became very good friends. And she's family. We are family. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Nene. Hey, Janet. Overall, good evening. Good
So
evening. So, yeah.
hello
So,
to everybody. And Mr. 1213 hits on slow roll. I had never, I have two brothers that have been participating in forever. And, they dragged my old butt out there last night. And I got to tell you, we talk about all the negativity, right? We talk about the teen takeovers. Well, I can tell you this. There was a takeover in Detroit last night. It was about 1,000 or more bicycles. And it was people of all races, all ages. I saw families, a 40-ish man and an 8-year-old little girl giving it heck out there, not complaining, riding their bike for 12 miles.
mhm.
These folks from probably some from the suburbs, some from the
Yep.
city,
Yep.
everybody is working together. Everybody is friends. Nobody is mad at anybody else. Nobody cares about your politics. We need more of this. When we talk about teen takeovers, we ought to drag those teens down here to this little event. And, it was a nice 12-mile ride through Detroit, and people were smiling and happy. Teresa just put up a couple pictures. You see any angry people there? You see any people worried about who won the Senate debate at the Mackinac? They don't care, right?
Listen, wait a minute. Listen. They didn't mind participating in the slow roll because they didn't have to spend all that money for gas.
No, it's free. It's free.
Well,
There's
I
no
know
anger.
it's
There's no
free.
violence. There's peace. There's a community down there, right?
Yeah.
So when we
So
forget, go ahead.
so yeah, the last time I participated, like I said, was 10 years ago. And I met people from all over the Metro Detroit area. everybody congregated together and everybody had their bikes. And what I thought was amazing, not just the people hanging out and getting along, is how much money they spent on decorating those doggone bikes. I mean, they had those bikes tricked out. How were they last night?
There were some really nice bikes. There were some fancy bikes, but a shout out to Jason Hall who runs the whole thing. Nice young man trying to bring the community together. So when we talk about there's no hope, that's BS, because there's guys like Jason Hall out there, and we need to recognize these people. They're giving it all back to the community. We can't forget them. He's not asking for anything. He's not saying, hey, you can't be a Republican and be a part of my bicycle ride, or you can't be 65 or 75 or 15 and not participate. You can bring your 8-year-old daughter that's going to show all of us up. You can do all these things. And it's people like this that we need to, we can't forget these people. Absolutely. Lost Jason Hall,
Yeah.
a tremendous young man. In fact, I asked him if he'd come on the show, and he said he would. We just need to schedule it. So we need to talk more about these folks in the community
So let me ask you this, Jim. So what route did you guys take? Because the unique thing to me about Slow Roll is every week you take a different route, so you get a chance to see different areas of the city. And so where did you guys?
We were in Corktown. We were down by the new bridge. We were up by 96. We were, New Center area, went by the old St. Regis. And I thought, boy, it'd be nice to turn that into about 50 condos, wouldn't it? To watch that building rot by the old GM building. Those buildings were alive in the 80s, right? Those buildings people were working at the GM building. People were working at the Argonaut building and at Crowley's, right? You remember those days? In the New Center, and they were going to.
No, I don't remember those. That's way.
Well, you're too young. You were just a kid, right? Going to see Santa Claus down there. But you think about we think about the history, and everybody. The last 2 weeks we've been talking about the teen takeover. Grab one of your teens by the collar and take them to this event on Thursday night. Get a bicycle. There's hope. People think there's no hope. Yeah, there's less. It happens. Flat tires. We had a guy lose his chain last night. He was able to make it back. But you know what? My brothers have been going they went before COVID, and they've been going since. They're older than me. And there's no judgment, right? There's no judgment.
Did you make new friends? Did you meet anybody
I met
down
some
there?
people, yeah. I just, it was prom night. So if you're seeing the pictures, Teresa put up the picture, so it was prom night. Yeah, people were dressed up like
Oh, so they had you, it was prom night, so you dressed like you going to prom.
Yeah, I just dressed up like myself.
Okay.
Which is bad enough, but
Okay.
it was the community, right? There's a community, and there's young people out there. There's people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s that care about our community. They're not judging you. They're not saying what's your zip code, who did you vote for in the last election. It's a community. That's what we need to do. It was tremendous. The bike ride, it's a little much for me. I enjoyed it. It wasn't hard. Anybody can do it, but
it's slow. It's a slow road.
But I'm not a bicyclist. I haven't probably been on a bicycle in 25 years, but I enjoyed the camaraderie. I enjoyed the community. I enjoyed the people. Way more than the bike ride. So
okay, so where did you guys start, and where did you end up?
Is it the Corona building?
On the boulevard, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
yeah.
That's where you guys ended up.
Right, and ended up going
did they
down.
have food trucks and all that?
They did, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. Yeah. Like I said, I
Thank you, Mary.
Time. But I do have a bicycle, so maybe that'll be something that I'll start doing, because I haven't rode a bike in forever.
If that doesn't restore your hope in humanity, we focus. The press needs to be out there. People like this need, it's like I always say, you don't know who you're passing when you're walking down Woodward Avenue. We have so many tremendous people in this community. We don't know enough of them. We need to talk about the people that are accomplishing things for their community, independent of the politicians, right?
Well, what's interesting, Jim, is that if you pay attention to media, you would think people be scared to come in the city and do a slow roll because I don't want to get bopped over my head. I don't want nobody robbing me, that kind of thing. And you had, how many people would you say was out last night for
I
slow?
would guess 1,000, 1,200, maybe a little more. I don't know. It's it's
And
hard
you
to
said
tell
it was
because you're in the middle of
peaceful.
it.
It was peaceful. It was nice. See, that's what's up. And I think I agree with you that we need to see more things like that. We need to have more people participate. Um, so that's cool. That's what's
And
up.
Tamari said, "That's right, Jim. We know this is Detroit. This is traditional Detroit. It's the hater media of the old days that want to promote these false narratives that have its roots in racism."
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. Nobody's looking at each other at these events and saying, "Well, where are you from? Are you from Wyandotte? Are you from Redford? You don't belong here." Nobody acts like that. The
Right.
people. What a great not restore, but it just it makes you feel good about life. It makes you feel good. Look at these pictures. Can you put that picture up again, Teresa? I'm sorry. Look at people smiling and talking to each other
I
and having
can't
a good
see
time.
it.
If you can see it, nobody's angry. Nobody's saying you're the devil because you voted for whoever you voted for. There's none of that going on. These
Yeah.
people are out there and having a good time, and I had a good time.
Well,
So
I do think though, Jim, that in light of what is going on in the world, right? High gas prices, groceries, war, it is nice to have something like that, slow roll, festivals and things like that to go to, so that you can have your mind won't be focused on all the negative things, but focused on the positive things. So
And they did
that
not have a police escort, but there were people in the crowd that were kind of directing. I was a motorcyclist and a police motorcyclist, and I did some of those events. They're really difficult. And I've seen these little motorcycle clubs do these events. And I tell you what, I'm surprised that 10 people aren't in the hospital by the time this is over. The bicyclists, thank you, Mr. 1213. Jason's a great leader.
Mhm.
The thing is, he had volunteers out there, very skilled bicyclists who were helping with this event. It was not. I know one time it was police escort, and I'm sure that the finances have something to do with that.
Okay.
Jan
Yeah,
is slow.
because yeah.
Jan, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
No, Janet said, "I wish I knew about it. I'm slow. That's the way I roll." Janet's
Right.
not that slow. I've seen her. She's pretty good on a treadmill. Usually a
Uh,
huge friendly crowd. Everybody, Ms. Suzuki, they're just it was a nice evening. Nobody, there was nothing to fear. Hey, Marlon, good to see you. Where you been? Probably enjoying the beach or something.
right.
Woodward's become anti-bike, though. Les says, I'm sure some people that don't understand it go, I'm trying to get home from work and I'm waiting 5 minutes in this little traffic jam for these bikes or 10 minutes. Get out and join your community, right?
Right.
Stop. You don't have to ride the bike. Stop at there's like you said, there's food trucks and there's people hanging out and talking and visiting with their neighbors. People asking, there was a young lady there and I almost brought you up, and I didn't because she said, did you change your address? Is your address current? You have to vote this year. Do you have everything in order? So there's all kinds of people hanging out there.
Okay.
You
All
don't even
right.
need to be a bicyclist. You can stop in and say hello.
Right.
That's community. That's where
Right.
we need to be.
Right.
That's not evil. That's not dangerous. That's not hateful.
Right. Right. Well, speaking of community, we have something else going on. The Grand Prix this weekend. Is anybody out here in Detroit, Black and White? Is anybody participating with the Grand Prix this weekend? It's right next door to me, basically. Um, I think it's a nice event. I'm not going, not this year, but there's a lot of people downtown enjoying themselves. And I think that this is another example of community, another example of the community coming together to have a good time. What is also interesting is this. I know from the slow roll when I went many years ago, you even had people from Canada
I'm sure.
participating in the slow roll. You even have people from Canada coming over for the Grand Prix. So we have a lot of positive things that's going on. And I agree with you. I do think that we should encourage everybody to participate. And encourage everybody to have a good time, and encourage everybody to, you know what, it's always easy. It's easy to focus on the negative things, and you can remember it and you can recall it. But it's so much nicer to focus on the positive things, right?
Absolutely. Should we take a
So,
break
yep, I was just getting ready to say that.
and get to our friends here?
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
We're back, Detroit in Black and White, our Friday evenings edition. We're talking, this is a positive a show tonight. Not to say that it's not positive every other night, but we're trying to focus on the positive things that's going on. Um, so, do you remember when the Grand Prix was on Belle Isle?
I do.
Did
I
you?
went to it in Detroit before I went to Belle Isle. I think maybe I went once to Belle Isle. I can't remember, but I haven't
Oh,
been probably in 20 years,
okay, you
15
haven't
years.
been in 20 years. So I've done both, and I like it better downtown as
Yeah.
opposed to on the island. Um, it is very interesting though that we have uh, very heavy police presence. And what I mean by that, they have the what do you call those metal
Yeah.
detectors to make
Well,
sure that
there's
you
a
don't.
new name for it now, but they're just
I
metal
don't know
detectors.
whatever
Yeah.
they call them, but they want to make sure that this riverfront is very safe. They are not playing games. So you want to come down, you better come down, have a good time, and a good clean time. Not coming down here acting a fool, because you will be in huge trouble. So yeah, I think it's really cool that it's downtown as opposed to Belle Isle.
I
Yeah.
agree. So we
So
have some comments. You want to touch on a comment?
yeah, you could go ahead, Jim. I need to plug my phone up.
Okay, Mr. 1213 said Grand Prix has one of the only free festivals on
Is it?
Plaza. I think maybe he's talking to the Friday event.
Yeah.
Friday is free for everybody. When I'm feeling overly negative, Tamari, I put on some comedy videos. Detroit comedian Tony Roberts
Yeah.
is hilarious. Thank you, Tamari.
Mhm.
Anybody doesn't know Tony Roberts, um, laughter is the best medicine. Hello, Angela. Good to see you. Les says it's a waste of money. Yeah, it gets expensive. Corporate, corporate. It is Detroit, and it's Motor Town, and it's Motown. It's the Motor City, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of these events, at least when I attended, were tied up into the auto companies, and some of the
Mhm.
tickets are expensive. A lot
Mhm.
of At one time they had events where you could go if you worked for whomever, General Motors. You can get into the General Motors tent or whatever the case is.
Mhm.
Um, or you got free tickets from your employer, a lot of that, or reduced ticketing. Kudos to the mayor and others. Tamari's talking. I think she's talking. I don't know if that's a general statement. You're talking about the slow roll, or you're just talking about Tamari. You're right on. We need to be a little more optimistic about about the new mayor of Detroit. I won't say she's my mayor because I don't live in Detroit, but she is our mayor. She's everybody's mayor.
She's
So
everybody, Mary. And let's
we
be clear. Let me say this. I have always said I want her to win, because if she wins, we win. Okay.
absolutely,
I,
all of
but
us,
I
not just
also
Detroit.
think, yeah,
Michigan wins.
exactly. But I also think that good leadership, and listen to me, I need you guys to listen. Are you listening? Listen.
Listen.
Good leadership requires constructive criticism. Some people think that because you say something that you're trying to tear that person down. You're really trying to build that person up and tell them, hey, maybe you need to look at things differently. I think a good leader will surround themselves with people who's going to tell them the truth, right? Going to tell them something that they don't want to hear, and that leader has to be receptive to that. And so we got to, and when you step into those roles, you can't be so sensitive. You can't. You got to take the lumps, the bumps, as well as the praises. So I'm speaking for me, and let me say this: my opinion belongs to me. Tamiri's opinion belongs to her. Jim's opinion belongs to him. I have no right to tell you that your opinion that belongs to you, that you own, that your opinion is wrong. I have no right to tell you that you're wrong, get mad, get pissed off, and that kind of thing. That is ridiculous. When this country was founded, it was founded, and when they drafted the Constitution, it was so that we could have these kind of conversations, right? We can agree to disagree, and that is okay. That's what makes America great. Now, some people don't feel like America is all that great right now because they don't like the current administrator and what's going on. I understand that. But at the end of the day, all of us have our own opinions. All of them belong to us. And it really irritates me when people, well, Vanessa, you can't feel that. Who are you to tell me how to feel? Who am I to tell you less is more or Marlon Holt how to feel? Who am I to tell Jim Nardone or Dewayla Boyce or Angela Beattie how to feel? Or Stephanie Jackson how to feel? Your feelings belong to you. I think it is our job, because we do this show, is maybe give people a different perspective, but not to beat up on somebody because you have a different opinion. I that drives me bananas.
And this is a round robin. We all learn. Miss Sheila, listening is free, but a real life skill. Salute
Yeah.
Detroit Black and White. Thank you. And if your students listen to you, Miss Sheila, they're living in a better world because of your help that you gave them along the way. And we salute you. Less I want Mary Sheffield to make for a better city, but she must, as all of us, need to be held responsible. We agree with that, Les. No question. There's our friend Kenneth Reed.
But let me say this, Jim. Hold on one second. You said that we all have to be held responsible. Listen, as the chief of police, you were held to a different standard than somebody that was just a regular police officer. As a lawyer, I'm held to a different standard. She's the mayor. She's going to be held to a different standard. She should be responsible. So her responsibility is completely different than your responsibility as a citizen.
But we all signed up for it.
Different role.
You signed up to be an attorney.
Absolutely. Okay. So go ahead.
Mr. 1213, all 3 days, the Grand Prix of events. Thank you, Mr. 1213. I get it, kind of like the NFL draft. There's stuff independent that's, whatever it is, displays and games. And I got you. Thank you. I did not know that. America's behaving badly. Let's look at their havoc in Cuba, Palestine, many regions of Africa. Ms. Suzuki, thank you so much. That is right, because I don't necessarily subscribe to groupthink. Groupthink is a big problem, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Right. Being a Detroit resident who rides his bike and uses public transportation daily, I'm so glad this slow roll came back. Good to see you tonight, Edward. It's a great event. Children listen when they trust you. That's exactly, we have to earn trust of the young people. That's exactly right, Ms. Sheila. That's 100, Vanessa. When you accept the job of public servant, take the bitter with the sweet. It ain't personal. This is business. Thank you to Mary. Mm-hmm. I'm going up because I was getting a few good ones down there. Positivity and negative discussions are healthy to have. Less said. Mm-hmm. I think we got most of them.
I think so too.
I'm missing somebody. Tell me. But I wanted to go somewhere else for just a minute. We want to stay positive, and you guys are helping us tonight, and we appreciate it. But I want to just touch on a couple young people that kind of got themselves in a jam for, in my opinion, no good reason. So we have this 23-year-old quarterback. His name's Jackson Dart. I don't know that much about Jackson Dart. He's from Utah. He was a Latter-day Saint. Went to school at USC, University of in California. Southern California. Thank you. Then he ended up somewhere, Ole Miss or something. But he introduced the president of the United States. He's 23 years old, right? Think about being 23 years old, and he got attacked by, his teammates, right? And his answer was, I had a unique opportunity to introduce the president of the United States. There's a bigger issue here, right? This shouldn't be big news. He was at some rally, whether he supports him or not. Gregory Hartfield. We need to talk about that in a second.
Talk about that.
But anyway, Jackson Dart, maybe when you're part of a team, you have to consider the feelings of all the other people on a team, and they resolve their issues, him and his teammates, Abdul Carter. But the real issue is, why is it a big deal? CC and the Music Factory, I guess I just read about this today, 250th anniversary music that they're going to have in DC.
But yeah. Go ahead.
But anyway, I guess somehow they show that this is linked to Donald Trump. It's some kind of an organization, a PAC or a political group or whatever. And these people are backing out. That's fine. That's their choice. I wouldn't tell anybody to perform. I wouldn't. But the issue is, who cares? I guess I want to come back to Freedom Williams, who I'm not really familiar with. It's not like the world can't survive without Martina McBride, Brett Michaels, and the Commodores. Well, the Commodores are not the Commodores, right? They're not who you think they are, right? There are four people, and there's one, William King, who's been in the group since 1968. The three other members of the Commodores got there in 2025, and they're the sons of Walter Clyde Orange, two of the Orange sons. But the question is, the world can survive without this group of the Commodores, right? This guy came out and he said he was alleged member of CC Music Factory. I'm not familiar. His name is Freedom Williams. He said
CNC Music Factory. They were really hot in the 90s. I mean, I'm a big music buff, so I know.
I just think it's really interesting what he said, right? He said, I'll vote for Genghis Khan, Hitler, and MF and Ivan the Terrible before I'll let you, and he used the N-word, tell me what MFing to do. And you know what? I like this guy because he's basically saying what you're saying, Vanessa.
So here's the deal, though. What I'm saying is this. Those are your feelings. That's what you want to do. But you can't be mad if people cancel you. Okay? You make a living out of entertaining folks. And these people think, first of all, that whole thing, they say it was a bait and switch. They were told it was one thing and they find out it's something else. I know I'll be pissed if somebody told me, okay, Vanessa, we want you to do this, and I sign up and then I find out that it's something else. That's problem number one. Problem number two is this. We live in a world where there's cancel culture. When you are in the entertainment field, when you are a public figure, you have to take that into consideration, because guess what? These are people, and all these people that they're talking about, I hate to say this, but they are seasoned, not seasoning like me, but they are seasoned folks. They're seasoned folks that are still working. Why? Because they have to. So when they say, hey, this is a bait and switch and I don't want no parts of it, why are you mad because Morris Day said he doesn't want any parts of it? That's his right. But just like it's his right to say that group to say that, it's also the right of the other person who says, hey, I want to participate. But when you decide that you're going to participate, please understand that you may pay the consequences. You can't call foul when you know what you're doing. That's the only thing I can say about that, because
well, thank you.
It is both sides. Now, like I said, I don't know. I would be pissed off. And as my girl Tracy said, it would be to the highest of pissivity if You asked me to do something under the context of one thing, and then I find out that it's something else. Not only are you playing in my face, you playing with my bread. I am a seasoned person out here trying to make a living. I'm thinking I'm gonna get this money, and now I can't get it because of this nonsense. No, 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 no.
But I want to make a different point about that. I want to read a couple
Okay.
comments first. 100% again, Vanessa. I put that percent in there, Tamara. I hope you don't mind. If I refuse to entertain pedophiles, murderers, and criminals, that lady artist is Kenneth Reed. Sometimes you don't know who you. There might be 3,000. You don't know who you're entertaining. If you're an entertainer, there could be all those people in a crowd of 1,500 people. True that, Vanessa. Les says. Vanessa, did you network at the Mackinac Policy Conference? You didn't attend, did you?
I did not attend. I have attended in the past. I had no interest in going to the Mackinac Policy Conference, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, I think that if you're making decisions about what's going to happen in the city of Detroit, guess what? The city of Detroit is good enough to have the Grand Prix, have all these festivals, slow roll. Listen, you had the NFL draft. Why is it that you can't have that same policy conference with these think tanks right here in the city of Detroit? They've done it traditionally. I've gone. It's a very interesting situation. Have you ever gone, Jim?
No.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting. And these are people that are connected. It costs a lot of money to even participate in this.
Well,
and I am one of those people who think that I believe that we all are people. We all have to do some of the same things. I don't like this whole ladder and elitism and
kissing rings.
guys. I don't do well with that. And once I discovered that this is in fact what it is, oh yeah, you part of the crew. Oh, you part. No, I'm part of the human race. So, Marlon, to answer your question, I did not go. I was not interested in it. I hope it was very nice. I understand that the mayor talked about poverty and talked about some positive things. I know that, again, she took some criticism, but I say this: you have to start somewhere. You're not going to fix all the problems in one day. So you have to start somewhere. So, no, I didn't go. I hope, anyway, it's a bunch
I
of.
try to stay far away from the politicians as I could.
And
as
then
much
you had
as
the former mayor there, Mackinac. You had people saying, well, why is he there? He's not. Listen, he just dropped out. What was that last week? His appearance there was already in the works. Why wouldn't he go? Why wouldn't he go? That's like people asking me when I went, on the times that I went, why was I there? I don't get it. Okay. So no. Okay.
I agree, Les. I like going there and there's no politicians there. Thank you, Tamari, your comment about money is and a lot of entertainers have made a lot of decisions that they should be proud of over the years. Stephanie Jackson says Bloods versus Crips. Political parties are now like gangs. That's where I wanted to go. That's kind of where I was, Stephanie. I think we're kind of in the same. People should be able to be an individual and a group, if not forget that group. Stay in a righteous perspective will win. Miss Sheila. Thank you, Miss Sheila. Trump is a bad seed. We got to get back to this question. I'm not Gregory Hartfield 9327 came out with it, but I just want to make this point and move on. Don't hate your neighbor because they didn't vote for the person you thought they should vote for. When did we become a country where we hate our neighbors because who they voted for?
I think we've always. Always existed in our country now. Love
I don't think the hate
always abide in our country. Come on now. Hate.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that, right? I understand that. It's like I said, I never met a Republican until I was 15. I didn't know what a Republican was. I thought they were like from Mars because where I grew up, the place on the corner was a Democratic club. That's where everybody's dad went. That's where, that's how it all went. I didn't know what a Republican was, right? But the point is, people should be able to support who they want. I'm going back to this music thing, And Freedom Williams, who I have no idea who Freedom Williams is, talking about the Hitler comment. He basically said, I hate Trump. Trump's an idiot, right? If you read what he said, it's enlightening, and he doesn't pull any punches, right? But he said, why are you telling me what I can and can't do? Who are you to decide? This sounds like communism. Are we going to punish people because we don't agree with them? This isn't North Korea.
And yes, we do punish people because we don't agree with them. We see it all the time. We see it even, listen, I'm going to use this as an example. I'm running for office, and by the way, I'm running for Wayne County Probate Court, not 36th District Court. It's nonpartisan. You would not believe how people ask me questions that are totally inappropriate. Watch me. Look at how I live my life and judge me by that. Don't judge me by a D and an R or an I or whatever. I think I have been very transparent about how I view this world, okay? So listen, we need to stop the cap. We already know that this is the world that we live in, and they want you to line up. If you don't line up, if you're not in this line, guess what? You're the enemy. That's really unfortunate, but that's why you should keep your business to yourself. That's why when you go on that voting booth, what you do is your doggone business. Now, what you tell people may not line up with what you actually did in that voting booth, but you keep your business to your doggone self. Because let me tell you something, it depends on the issues. One issue, you may be like, yep, I'm with them on this. But this issue, no, I'm not with them on that. And that's okay. That is okay. Again, your opinion belongs to you. Your choice belongs to you. But we also understand if you start doing this, listen. Are y'all listening? Listen.
There's
You
Tracy.
may have to pay the consequences. I'm going to use this example. I had a conversation with a young person that you know, Jim. And I said, you can say whatever the heck you want to say, but you do understand freedom of speech may not be free. And what do I mean by that? Is that you need to be careful about what you say on your job and how you say it. You can say whatever you want, but if you want to remain employed, if you want to remain in your situationship, you need to think about it, because that what you're talking about may put you in a situation where you will no longer be making a living at that, with that group, with that company, etc. So again, freedom is not free. I don't know what that guy name is. I thought you said something about freedom, but let's
Freedom
be clear.
Williams, yeah.
Freedom is not free.
Well, hello to Tracy Mongo, author. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Cynthia Burnett, love how Vanessa Moss really listens to both sides of an issue. You'll make our probate court judge, our probate court good, Cynthia, not the 36th district, probate court. Thank you for tuning in, Cynthia.
Right.
He paid he's paid his $5,000 minimum when the networking for his next job. Ouchie. The problem with Trump is that he's anti-black and human. Statewide network. Thank you, Les. Statewide networking. Post your campaign donation information. Thank you, Marlon. I'm not sure about posting that on this on the podcast. So there's got to be another way. Vanessa can divert you.
We're going to do a commercial. So just like Eric Sabri, we're going to do a commercial, so that information will be there. So transparency. I believe in integrity and transparency. Listen, we filed April 21st. There's a period of time that you have when there's challenges, okay? Then they have to go through the challenges. And after they go through the challenges, then they say, okay, this person is on the ballot. I will say with confidence that I'm on the ballot. But there are other people out there waiting for their information. So because we don't know what this race is going to look like, and I can't say anything right now, but because we don't know what this race is going to look like, we'll know in the next week or two. Then we'll be rolling out some things. We do have something coming up. We'll be talking about that in the next week. And if you guys want to participate, so Marlon, I know you want to send me the money, and I want you to send us the money, but we have to do things the right way. We don't want to get in any trouble or start any ruckus. Because believe it or not, listen, Marlon, you already know how this is. All of us have haters, and we have haters because what? Because we doing something great. So we have to keep our eyes out on
That's
for these haters.
that's a good lead into Fred Allen 8550. Thank you, Fred. The hate comes from this administration. It's all right to come out of the white. It's not, Fred. It's not right to come out of any neighborhood, right? Hate isn't. There's no value in hate. It's a waste of energy. And that's where I was going with this Jackson Dart. You're going to hate your teammate because he's 23 years old. Give the kid a little grace. Let him, I'm not saying he can either love Trump. I don't really care what he does. If I'm a Giants fan, all I care is he shows up on the field and John Harbaugh teaches us how to play this game and we go to the playoffs. These guys are all, and the people in New York don't care. They want their quarterback to be a good quarterback. They don't.
Well, look at that.
Listen
to the hypocrisy of it all. Number one, we're created and we have our mind and we change our minds all the time. You have the right to do that. He's 23 years old. Brain science says that you don't mature. You can't, your brain isn't mature until the age of 25. He's going to do that's part of, as we say in the street, life is lifing. So to attack this young man, you know what, you may not agree with it, you may not like it, but that's your opinion. Keep it to yourself, okay? Because the one thing that a lot of people don't like, and I'm one of them, don't tell me what I cannot do. And I'm going to bring this up. Almost 2 years ago, remember I ran for 36th District Court. Jim, Adolph, everybody said, Vanessa, you're not going to win. It's a write-in. And what did I say? Nobody's going to bully me. You're not going to. So that's what they're doing to this young man. He's 23 years old. People don't like that. Most people don't. You're not going to do that to me. So his statement, I think, has a whole lot to do with the fact that he feels like he's been bullied. And, that's one of those words that people are using now, you bullying people. But nobody likes that. So, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But he also understands that you do that, you may take some heat. And clearly he's getting heat for it.
Back to Fred for a minute. You talk about the neighborhoods or the white. I get what you're saying. There's something wrong with these people that hate people because they're another race, another age, and another sex. We have people spend way too much time and effort in their lives. Donald Trump doesn't care about us. Haley Stevens, she was on the show. Dr. Cornelius is on the show. They don't really care about us. They care about their program. Why are we losing our friendships? Why are we losing our neighbors for people that we've never met that never cared about us? And I'm going to tell you something else right here. You think the Democrats are different? I'm going to tell you, you better look a little closer because they're very similar, right? And Kenneth Reed says Freedom Williams needs that check where Morris Day and the time, they don't need it. Okay, I get it. You're right. Some people are put in an unfortunate situation where they're not going to turn down that $5,000. We had that in Sun City, right? Not going to play Sun City in South Africa. And some people did, right? The Dixie Chicks came out and almost lost their career because they attacked George W. Bush in the early 2000s. I disagree with that. I understand that it may have been in poor taste, but you know what? I don't have a problem with I don't care what Bruce Springsteen says. People are running around saying this is the best concert they ever saw. And I saw him 3 years ago, right? If you saw Bruce Springsteen 30 years ago, this isn't the best concert. This is nostalgia. This is trying to remember your childhood. This is trying to remember your past. Bruce Springsteen has a teleprompter for songs he's sung 50,000 times. He's not Bruce Springsteen from being 28 years old. And the first time I saw him in 1978. This is a different man, right? It's not the same. I don't care who you go to see. This is nostalgia takes over, right? And people get caught up in the political beliefs. I watched the movie in Bruce Springsteen went on an airplane the other day, the one from 1982. He didn't have any money. He didn't have a car. He was a different human being. He didn't have anything, right? Now he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire attacking billionaires. Explain that to me.
Listen, I hate Donald. He's a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire too, but it probably would never happen. The only way it would happen is if I hit the lottery. But there was a question that I want to just pivot a bit, because it was an interesting question about a vasectomy. Should black men get vasectomy?
Right. I didn't really get
Where
that.
the heck
Give
did
us
that
some
come
context
from?
there.
Now, first of all, listen. Are y'all listening? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? I'm not a man. I like men.
There it is, Gregor.
Black men get vasectomies. Gregor, where are you going with this? Is this coming from a place of hate? Is this coming from a place of? Listen. Come on in the room. If you were brave enough to put that on here in the comment, we want to hear what you got to say, because I don't want to comment.
And back to Fred's point, Fred, those people are hate. Those people are sick in the head. The people you're talking about. There's a lot of people in this country that are sick in the head. Somebody that climb up on a roof and shoot a guy because he doesn't agree with his politics. These people are sick, right? These aren't normal human beings. My point is
normal, Jim.
Well, not normal isn't not normal is taking a shot at the not normal. Well, not normal is trying to shoot your neighbor or run past Secret Service and shoot. What?
What's normal? It's our
I'm talking about the hatred in people's mind. These are sick human beings. Are you
saying that they're mentally ill?
I'm talking about the KKK. Those were sick human beings that had this little world that they were trying to control, and they couldn't control it anymore, right? That's what's going on in this country right now. This is all about control. Who's controlling what? I hate my neighbor because I want the Democrats in charge, or I hate my neighbor because I want the Republicans in charge, And we talk about we're all neighbors. We're all family, right? When we don't, we need to fix this, right? And we're letting these politicians drive us further and further apart from our neighbors. Edward, vasectomy for a rapist? I don't know. I was on that slow roll yesterday, and I was a little sore when I got off my bike. So, just kidding.
So, Leslie Moore says people currently have the right to respond to someone's position. So let me address that. I don't disagree. I think that when you put something out there, whether you directly say, what's your opinion? The fact that you're talking about it, to me, you invite somebody's opinion. That's okay. But you also have to recognize that that person's opinion, that person's statement, it belongs to them. You can say, I disagree with it, but you don't have the right to tell them, well, I disagree and you should feel the way that I feel. That's not cool. One of the things that I really, really despise, and Jim, I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever been in a situation where you're telling somebody a story about yourself and they respond and say, well, if I were you, this is what I would do?
It happens a lot. It happens to everybody. Every human being gets that kind of point.
And how does that make you feel?
That's people that aren't really listening. Like Miss Sheila said, if you listen to people, you'll understand why their perspective is what it is. Miss Suzuki says the brain doesn't fully develop till you're 20. Very impactful statement about the number of issues in the city. But Miss Suzuki, she's talking from the point of a defense attorney. Of course, she's going to take that position.
Oh, whatever. Let me say this. The reason I made this statement is that it irritates my soul when I'm talking to someone and I'm telling them something. Okay, yes, I'm inviting you to have a conversation with me about whatever I'm talking about. But as soon as you say, well, if I was you, I would do this. Number one, you're not me, so you don't know what you would do. Number two, you haven't experienced what I experienced, so you can't say that. And number three, and more importantly, you've made this situation about you as opposed to me. That tells me that you're a very selfish individual. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Thank you, Edward. I'm not a rapist. Yeah, I'm not. Derek says this administration hates us. Thank you for that perspective. I think we need to be thinking about other things than this administration or the governor, right? I'm a motorcyclist, right? So Rick Snyder signed a bill to take the helmet law away. I rarely wear a helmet. I know I should. Some people say you should. Some people might say it's more dangerous with a helmet than without, all right?
You
So,
don't wear a helmet on a bike?
so this new governor, I'll call her the new governor, right? She signed a new insurance law that basically says that, you almost have no insurance if you're on a motorcycle. If someone hits you on Medicaid, they only have 50,000. I don't hate her because of it. I don't think she was sitting around saying, so what we did is we made it more dangerous to ride motorcycles because there used to be catastrophic insurance. Well, we don't have that anymore, right? So I'm hesitant to go out there and get on my motorcycle because, you save your whole life to be retired. And if something bad happens, because Governor Whitmer signed a bill that changed the insurance laws, I don't hate her because of it. I know what she was trying to do, but she doesn't realize that she carved the motorcyclist out of it, right? So you can't get $2 million worth of insurance, even if you buy it, right? So my point is, I don't think she was thinking about me when she made that decision. She didn't say, well, Jim out there, he's riding his Harley without his helmet on, so if he gets in an accident, screw. I think we give these people too much credit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, Marlon said his cousin told him to lose her number over Kamala Harris. Did you lose her number or did you call and say, hey, cuz, we got to be better than this? I hope that's what you did, Marlon. Okay. Uh, Edward says, Vanessa, I'm with you 1,000%. Les says helmets may hide blind spots. Gregory Hartfield says, I just want to see the men take responsibility for their sexual health.
And thank you for that, Gregory. If you don't have the opportunity to go see your doctor once a year, get your colonoscopy, get your test, get your PSA test. You got to do these things, right? Because five years down the road may be life ending if you don't take care of it now. And thank you for the comments. So helmets may hide blinds, but less. I've ridden with both, and I feel comfortable both ways. But I don't feel comfortable with a guy with $50,000 worth of insurance that's going to crash into me and put me in, as a paraplegic. I'm done. That they've gotten rid of that stuff.
Let me ask you this: did you see a lot of people with helmets on for slow roll?
Everybody had helmets on. It's kind of crazy.
If I participate, I have a helmet. You want me to show you my helmet? I'm sorry. The last time I went, which was 10 years ago, was a guy from Canada that was riding his bike, and because it's a slow roll, people think it was a freak accident. His spoke of his little whatever that is got caught up in somebody else's. He fell and cracked his head.
Yeah, a lot of people get serious injuries.
Blood was all over the place. You talk about trauma. Oh my God, I was traumatized by it. So yeah, I'm one of those people. This belongs to me. I am a helmet wearer. Do I get talked about when I brought out my little helmet? Yes. Do I care? Absolutely not. Did I invite your opinion about my helmet? Yes. And do I care what your opinion is? No, because guess what? It belongs to me.
Well, I'm going to have to read a couple comments here because maybe one of my favorite comments that I've seen in quite some time. Insurance is a ripoff. We know this. Paying on what is an accident happens with no return on what. Yeah, you can pay $50,000 for insurance, and then the first time you make a claim, they get mad at you. Good luck, Edward. Enjoy the process. Here's one of my favorite comments that I've seen in quite a while. This realm is temporary. Let's not trip. Less more. Well, there's a lot of truth to that, right?
Right.
People were mad when Joe Biden was, they were mad when this guy was president. They're mad when this person was a U.S. senator, governor. These people don't care about us. I mean, the reality is they care about getting elected. And we know Vanessa's not going to be like that. If you get elected to the probate court judge, these positions are, she's got a big responsibility to take care of families in Wayne County. A lot of people in Detroit, a lot of people in the suburbs that need help when they arrive in the hands of the Wayne County probate court. So you can't just get reelected.
Yeah. I also find that it's interesting that people who are elected officials, I don't care what letter you are, it's just interesting how they become someone that you don't recognize, you know.
That's a fact.
So I intend to, number one, I have people with me now who always check in my behalf. Vanessa, you better reel it in. They check me, and I welcome that. Okay, because it keeps me grounded and it keeps me humble. Um, and I want Detroit in black and white. Once I'm elected, y'all need to keep me. You need to keep me in check now, respectfully, but you need to keep me, and we need to keep everybody body in check. Everybody is not receptive to that, but I am one of them. I'm going to give you guys an example. I tell people all the time, as an attorney, my parents named me Vanessa Marie Moss. If I'm not in the courtroom, you call me by my name. I will feel the same way once I'm elected as a judge. Judge when I'm on the bench. When I'm off the bench, I am Vanessa Marie Moss. Okay, that's my commentary.
I thought Jill would be surfing down there in Florida instead of skiing. She's still skiing. Jill, I went skiing a few years ago in Colorado. My brain got in front of me, so I don't have the guts that I had when I was 25 or 30. So if you're still skiing, good for you.
Yeah.
At your ripe age of 44, and you're still out there skiing, I'm proud of you. So. Yeah, Kenneth, you got to wrap your head around that skiing. It's fun until you can't stop.
Oh wow. Edward All says,
It's a special skill to ski.
I believe it. Edward
And,
All says better to have the helmet on
yeah.
and not need it than to need it and not have it on. Amen. Amen. Amen.
And Edward's being an example for all of us. Thank you, Edward. I'm looking forward to mine sometime later in the year, I hope. And Kenneth rides his bike on Belle Isle. Marlon is a weekend dirt biker. That you think riding a street bike is hard? Go get on a dirt bike and bounce through the woods. That's pretty tough too. I did that one time. A buddy invited me out, and by the time I was done, riding a dirt bike is 10 times harder than riding a street bike for sure.
So a dirt bike, I don't know the difference. I know the tires are larger, but is it 3 wheels or 3?
No, it's 2 wheels. They're smaller CCs. 150 to, I don't know. Marlon can tell us 300 CCs, but bouncing through this, it's like skiing, right? You're going through the trails, and there's trees to the left of you and trees to the right of you, and hopefully you don't meet any of them. So it's hard. You got to concentrate. Worried about that car coming over and sideswiping down the road, but
Well, I'm gonna tell you, that sounds like as dangerous as those people that was in the Yellowstone Park and the bears attacked them. That's what that puts me in the mind is skiing, riding a dirt bike. No, I'm not doing any of that. No, 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 no. Well, it is.
You're running for judge. That's more dangerous than riding a dirt bike, I think.
You think so?
Thank you, Jill. I haven't been doing much riding. Yeah, running for judge in probate court may be more dangerous than skiing or riding a dirt bike. I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, that's nice, Mr. Reed. He says, Kenneth says he's very good friends with the judge, whether they're on the bench or not. I call her Your Honor. That's great. She probably doesn't mind that. I'm just making it plain right now. I'm not going to check anybody, but I'm just letting people know. Everybody that knows me would tell you, like, oh, you call me attorney in the courtroom, but don't do that. Because realistically, when you're out and you're trying to have fun with your friends and eating dinner, you don't want everybody to know that you're a judge, because there are some people that are out there that just don't. They may not like your ruling. They may not like you, and you're putting a target on somebody's back. And it's the same with the attorneys. They do attack us. So.
And I call my friend Judge the judge. In fact, we go out to dinner here and there. I refer to him as Judge. Thank you, Kenneth. That's the way I look at it too. God bless all. Stephanie Jackson, God bless you. I haven't called her. We were in high school together. Picked her up every day for school, and she wasn't on the way. Yeah, I understand that, Marlon. insurance companies are the real, I always said this. I used to be a pension rep, and I always say this. People say the banks are where the money is. No, the money is where the money is.
Oh,
And when
that's
you pay thousands and thousands of dollars and you never collect any of it back, they should have to give you a rebate, these insurance companies, if you haven't had, an accident in 20 or 30 years.
yeah.
That doesn't surprise me, Kenneth, that you're good friends with a judge. An adventure across the nations of spiritual cleansing. Thank you, Les. That's kind of where I am. Screw the politicians. Let's all stick together. We need them, but they don't define us, is what I'm trying to get at. We can't let them define us.
Realistically, when you wake up in the morning, is that who you're thinking about? No. When you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth and you think about how you're going to get on your day. Now, you may think about it when you go to the gas station, like I'll be going to the gas station tomorrow morning. I may think about it.
Yeah, when you look at the gas pump and say,
but just getting through your everyday life, that's just not what we do. What is that? Janet.
Tamari, thank you, Tamari, for being Tamari. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to say.
Janet, she says, we love you and wish you good luck in your endeavor for judgeship. Thank you so much.
That's very
Janet.
nice.
We love you too.
Yeah, Marlon's talking about snowmobiles, but he ain't out in that snow, and he fled the snow, right?
Is it as dangerous as skiing?
A snowmobiling, yeah, I've done it a few times, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's like, it's like right now. You shouldn't get on a snowmobile unless there's trees on both sides of you there too, and if you're going too fast, do you wear a helmet? Yeah, you have to wear a helmet, but you hit a tree. Those snowmobiles go 60, 70 miles, 80 miles an hour, and
oh, heck, do you have to have a special license for it?
You do not.
So anybody can just get on a snowmobile and just take off.
Yeah, you can rent them. All you need is a driver's license.
ATVs are dangerous too.
Yeah, that's what we live with. Thank you, Joe, for your comment.
Look, the most dangerous thing I'm going to do is be on the dance floor and listen to one of Marlon's favorite groups, the Bee Gees. So
our friends carried us tonight. Thank you guys for carrying us. Vanessa, thank you to everybody out there that contributed to this show.
Then we'll be back tomorrow morning. It will be Jim, myself, and I believe Allan will be with us tomorrow morning.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, but listen, you guys will be with us tomorrow morning, and you guys keep us going. Thank you so much for watching Detroit in Black and White. We'll see you tomorrow morning. You all have a wonderful night. Love you.